Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to season 14, episode 25, overall 739 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles, EVs, and Cadillac products as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you. And Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family-run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969. I hope everyone is doing well for this part 2 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. I had an earlier guest on today at 11 o'clock this morning, Natasha Mendez, a bilingual radio host in Vancouver, BC. And I'm excited to have another guest on tonight, and it's her first appearance as well. And her name is Angie Does, and she has her own show called She Does Sports. And she is a content creator, and I met her through TikTok, and we're going to bring on Angie right now. We're going to talk a little bit about her show. Good evening, Angie. How are you? I think you're muted yourself. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having us. A huge thank you to Barry Cullen out in Guelph. It's always nice to have a sponsor for the show. So thank you to them as well. And yeah, if anyone's looking for a newer used vehicle, hit up Barry Cullen.
Yep. Hey, and I've been doing this a long time. Unfortunately, when you switch, we switched to 7:30 to 7. I accidentally hit the wrong day, so now I can't broadcast on Facebook and LinkedIn. But I will post the links to this show after on Facebook and LinkedIn. So a little boo-boo, but it happened. So we'll get through it. But Angie, I want to say thank you so much for coming on today. This is my 740th episode tonight, so I really appreciate it.
Wow, congratulations. I know how much work it is to even just, be on camera, but also to get the hosts and set up all the promos and do all the things. So congrats to you, because that's a huge win for you.
Yes, I switched careers from security into media broadcasting 7 years ago, and I didn't go to school for this. I went to school for law and security. I just basically self-taught myself from doing camera work into a podcast, and my show has been on a radio station in Georgia. So I love what I'm doing, and I love the storytelling aspect, and every guest that comes on here has a unique story, and I learn something constantly every day. So I appreciate it's the guests that get credit for the show. I'm just very fortunate.
Love it. Well, I'm happy to be here. My background is definitely not in broadcasting. It is in PR. It is in public relations. But before that, I actually thought I wanted to be a teacher. So I went down the road. I have a degree in early childhood education. I was at York University for Teachers College. I thought I was going to go that route. And then working with kids all day long, and then realizing maybe that's not the best case scenario for me. If I want to have my own kids one day, I want to have some patience left by the end of the day. So I went back to school, and I got a degree in public relations. But to put it into perspective for you, when I graduated, this is going back, I'm going to age myself now, but this is going back at least probably 15 years or so. We didn't even have a social media component in our course. And now here we are.
And social media is a big deal. And by the way, you're going to laugh. 15 years ago, I didn't even know what Wi-Fi was. So I've had to reinvent myself too.
There you go. I didn't even have a computer in elementary school. I think I got my computer when I was mid high school. But I remember we talk about this all the time, but the speed dial up, nobody pick up the phone on the internet.
Yep. Yeah. Me and my guest earlier today were talking about that as well. I'm 54 years old, and I didn't get my first computer until I was 29 years old.
Yeah.
Back in 2001. So, and it was one of those big monster desks computers. So it's
Yep.
really changed a lot. And who would have thought back then that we'd be able to do shows that can go all across the world with this technology?
Or that this is all you need, all in your
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah. Hey, you used to complain, oh, if we lost our purse or a wallet, we lose our life. Now, if you lose these phones, it's like even
Yeah.
a bigger deal than losing your wallet and purse. Not that that isn't, but yeah,
Yep.
everything's on a smartphone nowadays. Hey, gotta ask you this, Angie.
Yes.
I have a friend in the States who's done PR too. His name is Patrick Pierce. Good guy. You should maybe have him on your show one day because he loves the Kansas City Chiefs and he was in
Okay.
broadcasting. He
Yep.
does PR too. Can you just tell our audience a little about being a PR person? No?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it's interesting because public relations, as we know it, has definitely changed. But basically, what it is it's the strategic management of communication between, say, an organization and its publics. So, whether that be audiences or stakeholders, but it's definitely changed. Like when I took the course, back in the day, it was more about pitching stories and writing press releases and doing things in the newspapers. And I know we were just talking a little bit before we hopped on about how that has also significantly changed, right? Like now everything is online, it's streaming, and it's just quick little, hits, quick little 15-second clips that kind of stop the scroll. So PR or public relations in general, I think has definitely changed quite a bit. For the better or for the worse, whatever you want to say. But that's basically all it is. Yeah, it's basically just connecting, and receiving or even giving out that communication between an organization and all of its audiences.
And a lot of technology, everything you're right, everything's gone to digital as well. And also too, the newspaper market and the radio industry has shrunk too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we've definitely been noticing that more and more. And I think it's going to continue to change. I mean, now with AI, AI wasn't even a topic of conversation, say 12 months ago, a year ago. Now it is. So it's just, yeah, it's changing so fast. Technology is changing so, so fast.
Now, I meant sometimes I use a little AI for editing video when I'm extremely busy and
Yep.
I need some help, but I don't rely on it completely. I think it's a good tool if you use it the right way. You just don't want to
Mhm.
be over reliant on AI, in my opinion.
For sure. For sure, for sure. Oh, for sure. And it still needs some human element to it too, right? Like we've all seen AI spit out those hallucinations or, it even apologizes. Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. So I think, there still does need to be that human aspect of it for sure. For sure.
What do you love the most about PR, public relations?
Ooh, that's a good question. I love it all. I love it all. Actually, my ideal job or my dream job, and I've always loved it. It would be like crisis communications. So, my first internship I did after I graduated from college was at Ontario Place here in Toronto, and so we hosted many, many, many events there. We'd host. There'd be concerts at the big. I don't know if everyone's familiar with the RBC Stadium. It's called now, or the RBC Theater, but used to be the Molson Amphitheater. So, we'd get lots of crowds in there all the time. There would be so many exciting events. We would host the parade where they'd shut down Lakeshore. We used to have the Indy down there as well. So lots and lots of stuff going on, lots of people. There was one year, unfortunately, where there was a bit of a situation at the Caravana festivities, and I had to kind of jump in, and they threw me on the news right away. They were like, what happened? And so I love that. I love the chaos of the crisis communications part, good or bad. That's like my favorite personally, the chaos, I guess.
Do you find AI is kind of shrinking the PR business too, the industry?
I'm I mean, it's hard to say. Like AI is definitely taking over for sure. But like I said, it's not like you can just, put into AI to run a press release or write me a story or anything like that and then just kind of post it. You have to really double check. You've got to cross your T's and dot your I's. But I mean, yeah, it's kind of taking over every industry, at least in some aspect for sure.
You mentioned Ontario Place. I was born in 72. So I grew up going there in the 70s and 80s as a
Right?
kid. And now
Yes.
it's sad what's happening without getting into politics. It's just
Yeah.
sad what happened to that property.
Exactly. So yeah, they used to run all kinds of like free concerts in the park, or you probably remember that back in the day. They would host like employee events, all the things. But I was actually there. I'd probably still be working there, to be honest. It was one of the best summer jobs I ever had. It is so much fun, more fun on the water. That's their slogan. I don't know if they'll keep it, but yeah. So I was there during the revitalization when there were talks of a casino, a resort, a hotel. Now they're saying it's going to be like a spa and all kinds of parks and things like that. So you're right. Don't want to get too political. Obviously, I don't know. I still haven't even seen like the final plans for what's to come or what's going to be there. But I know RBC just took over that big amphitheater there, so they're hosting concerts now. It's prime time. It's the summer. The marina is still fully open and operational, so people still have their boats launched and docked there as well. But I mean, we'll have to see what happens. Again, that was the best summer job I ever had. So if opportunity knocks, maybe I would go back. But it was just such a pleasure just to be down there by the water.
I'm hoping they don't touch the CNE. I just hope they leave that property alone because that
Yeah.
CNE is a end of summer tradition in Toronto. So hopefully, and that's a
I
lot of fun. A lot of
I
fun
don't
going
think
down
that's
there.
going anywhere. My concern was when we had like FIFA, right? We had the FIFA World Cup here, and we had to totally, expand our TFC stadium down there. So there were originally talks of the way the stadium is, it kind of expanded into pretty much almost where the food building is. I don't know how familiar you are with the exhibition or our
Yes,
viewers, but
yes.
anyone who's been there, anyone who lives in Toronto, you get it. So the way they had to add those extra like seating and scaffolding and stuff, it was getting like pretty close. And with something like that, like FIFA World Cup, I mean, they knock, they call, they say you got to do this. We're probably going to do it. We have to do it, right? So that was my fear, was that they were going to start messing around with some of the things in that exhibition grounds, because a lot of those are also heritage. They've been around for a really long time. Another fun fact: in a past life, I used to work at Music Nightclub, which I don't even know if it's still operational, but it's right there in Exhibition Place as well.
And I went to the CNE as a kid back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And now that I do freelance media work for the Argonauts, I'm down at BMO Field all the time. And I remember the other stadium too, Exhibition Stadium. I remember
Yep,
the Blue Jays and Argos played there.
yep.
I remember smelling pot and marijuana from the
Oh yeah,
concerts
before it was
growing up.
legal.
Yes. Oh my. It was like, yeah. And it's just a lot of fun back then. And BMO Field, since I got you here, were you able, you're in from Toronto, were
Yep.
you able to get to a game? One of the FIFA games?
So I've been to tons and tons of games actually. So my cousin used to play on the Argos actually. Jeff Johnson, shout out to number 33,
Yes.
Jeff Johnson.
Yes.
Yep.
Fullback,
So
fullback.
yep. So yeah, so we used to go to games, pretty often. I honestly try to get to as many games, all sports, whenever I can, but I'm not gonna lie, like Toronto ticket prices, concerts, games, whatever it is, are not the cheapest. And it's always a mission also to get downtown. There's construction, there's this, there's that. Take the GO train, it's the better way. Yeah, okay, until it's like delayed or there's like a
Yep.
hiccup or they're doing track renovations or they're rerouting the trains and now you got to take a shuttle bus. So, but I do try to get to honestly as many games, all sports, whenever I can, because I love the atmosphere. I love the environment. I love the energy. I love it all. So,
Yeah, I'm lucky being media. I don't have to worry about paying. But
yeah.
when I do come down to BMO Field for the Argos, I drive from Guelph to
Hmm.
Burlington, park my
Hmm.
car for free at Aldershot, and then I
Yep.
take the GO train in. But
Yep.
there has been a couple times where I thought I was going to miss a game because one
Yeah.
time there was somebody that got hit by a train and they had to shut the train down for 2 hours and we had to walk back to Aldershot. And there's been other delays too. So the GO
Yep.
train, when it's working perfectly, like technology, it's a
Yep.
great idea, but
Yep.
sometimes there are hiccups.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, it is definitely the better way because Toronto traffic is absolutely no joke.
I think it's the worst in North America. Some of my American friends don't believe me. They think New
Yeah,
York, Chicago, Boston, but I said I
yeah.
think Toronto is the worst because I have friends in Toronto like you, like yourself, and they tell me sometimes it takes 1 to 2, 3 hours to get around Toronto, and they're not
Oh,
joking.
yeah.
I found that out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. It's funny, what you mentioned Hamilton, and Hamilton is an interesting place. It's becoming a very popular spot on the map for sure.
Yes, you know what, to be honest, I don't mind their stadium. Their press box is better than Toronto's, but I
Yeah.
still like BMO Field better than Hamilton Stadium, but
Yep.
the media press box in Hamilton is way better than the one in Toronto. But and parts of Hamilton are great, but right
Yep.
now that city is under construction. So if
It
you
is.
do go to a Tiger Cat game, be
Yep.
aware a lot of construction. It's basically construction season in Ontario. But if you get to an Argos game this year, please let me know because I would love to meet you in person before
Yeah.
or after the game too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Actually, the last Argos game I went to was last year when they did the crossover. It was like the Buffalo Bills Football Has No Borders
I was
game.
at that game. Yeah,
So was I. So was I.
Doug
It was
Flutie, Jim Kelly were there.
we got crushed by Hamilton, but I mean, it was expected based on the way we played last
It
year.
was not a
So,
good year.
but
Not a good year.
not a good year, but you know what? That's funny to talk about Hamilton. So the first time I went to the Hamilton Stadium, I was shocked at how it's like in the middle of a residential area. Like you're literally sitting in that stadium and you're looking up at someone's window where they're like probably in their washroom or their bedroom or something, and you can
Yeah,
literally see it like right from the
yeah.
stadium. That was the biggest like shock for me, I think, when I initially went to that stadium. But I did also, I have to mention, something about women's sports. Coming in
Yes.
2026, there has been a newly announced Professional Women's Hockey League expansion team set to begin play at the newly renovated First Ontario Centre in Hamilton. So that is super exciting, and I am super stoked for that.
I think the PWHL team will do better in Hamilton than the
Agreed.
American Hockey League team. I've
Yeah.
talked to guys from the Hamilton
Yeah.
media. The Hamilton Islanders or the Hamilton Hammers, they're calling them. They
Yep.
haven't even done much of promotions in Hamilton. So, but
Yeah.
I do think the Women's Hockey League will do well. And also, you're speaking women's sports too. You got a WNBA team in Toronto now too.
Yes.
More competition for the Argos. The Toronto Temple. Have you,
Yes.
Angie, been able to go to a Temple game yet at the Ricoh
I
Coliseum?
have unfortunately not gone to a Temple game yet. There are some on my radar. Caitlin Clark is coming in August. As long as she can keep off those technical fouls, she'll be here in August. So that's what I'm really hoping for. I'd love to go to any of those games. I do have some on my radar. Like I said, the Caitlin Clark one for sure. I've kind of picked out. But I mean, yeah, like I've heard nothing but amazing, amazing things about just being there. The environment, the atmosphere, the energy, all of the things. And they play at Coca-Cola Coliseum, again, an exhibition place, right? Like everything's literally right there. It's right hop off the GO train. It's not in the chaos, quite the chaos of like downtown, say the Air Canada Center, where the Raptors play. But no, I would love to. So if anyone watching wants to send me to a WNBA game, please do. I am more than happy to go, or a PWHL game as well. I'll go with that one as well.
And you forget now there's a professional women's baseball league too starting up,
Yes.
6 teams, and I think
Yes.
maybe in the next 2-3 years, Toronto would be smart to get one because I
Yeah.
really think Toronto and this area would support a women's baseball team at the Rogers Center when the Jays aren't playing.
For sure, for sure. Absolutely. I agree. I think, now's the time for women's sports and they're only going to keep growing and getting bigger. So, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of teams we should get, we need an NFL team over here.
Uh, Angie, I would agree with you a long time ago, but I think the problem is it's not just the CFL, is the fact that BMO Field is not NFL made. The Rogers
Yeah.
Center now has been made into a baseball only stadium.
Yeah.
There's practically, you live in Toronto, you know this, there's practically no land. Where do
Yeah.
you put an NFL
Yeah.
stadium? And then second of all, it would be about $3 billion to bring a team to Toronto, plus
Yeah.
another two and a half. It would
Yeah.
cost probably about $5 billion to bring an NFL team to Toronto. And the ticket prices, I would say, would even be more than Maple Leafs.
Oh, for sure. Mind you, ticket prices in general, because I've been looking at some Bills games this year for this upcoming
Yep.
season, and
Yep.
ticket prices in general could be because of the Bills' new stadium and all the
Stadium.
things
Yep.
they have to pay for now. But
Yep.
yeah, like I feel like ticket prices in general for everything, actually everything is expensive right now. Who am I kidding?
One, you'll laugh at this. I did have Bills season tickets at one point back in 2008,
Yep.
and they were $500 US for the whole year for 10
Yep.
games. And
Yep.
now you can't even get a Bills cheap ticket for
Yeah.
$500. Honestly, I don't know how families with kids or even couples can afford to go to these sporting events nowadays.
I know. It's so true. Toronto Argos actually just launched the all you can eat ticket packages. So for
Yep.
40 bucks, you get to sit in section, I think it's like 200 somewhere.
Yep.
And then you get unlimited supply of, like the hot dogs, the sandwiches, the
Yep.
popcorn, like all the things, which I thought is great. Cause you know what, like you said, like for a family, it's already such a, cost to even just get there to get the tickets. So at least that
Yep.
way, the worst thing you want to do is take your kid to a game and then have to say no to certain things. Everyone's eating
Yep.
popcorn and munching on snacks and you have to say, oh no, sorry. Like, you can't have that. And it's like, that's not what it's about. Right. So I think that's really good. I think, whether they're trying to just get people to come, like attract more people to come or families, but I think that's a good initiative.
And the Argos home opener, which I'll be there on Thursday, August 6th against Calgary.
Yep.
I'll be in the media box, but the first 10,000 fans will get an Argos jersey. So if
Oh,
you're at
nice.
the game and you're one of the first 10,000 fans, they're giving away an Argos retro jersey from 1991 with Johnny Candy patch on it. And I got to give MLOC a little credit because we always criticize them,
Yeah.
but they are trying to do more promotions for
Yeah,
the Argos because it is affordable. The Marlies are affordable. The Argos are affordable. I don't know what the Toronto Temple tickets are like, but I imagine they're probably expensive. I'll
for
have to
sure.
look into that.
They are. They're not, yeah, they're definitely not super, super cheap. And now, though, with the Marlies, with that huge run they just had, I bet you those ticket prices are going to go up for next year for sure.
And you know what? They're a tremendous organization. For some reason, they seem to know how to win and develop players, but then when they go to the Leafs, they just don't know how to execute.
Ugh.
So,
Do we
but
want
I'm
to talk
happy.
about the Leafs?
Well, at some point we will, but yeah, hey Angie, I'm so glad to have you on my show tonight. And I really haven't seen a lot of your work, but just getting to know you here and talking to you now, you're definitely a natural on camera. And I really appreciate you coming on the show tonight to talk a little bit about yourself and a little bit about sports as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me, and your questions are great too. They're very open-ended, they're very conversational, so they make anyone feel comfortable. And yeah, thanks for having me. Again, thank you to our sponsors too, Barry Cullen.
Yeah.
If anyone needs a vehicle,
Yeah.
that's where you should go.
And my job is to be like the Magic Johnson. I'm the point guard. I distribute the ball, and it's up. My guests are the star. I'm just the distributor, and I just want to try to make my guests feel comfortable. And I love this. And I also too, I've been turned down by radio a number of times because of my age and being self-taught. I
Yeah.
have a little chip on my shoulder, so I use that as motivation. And I just love what I'm doing, and I want to continue to build this show. And I'm just very fortunate to get great guests on, and like you said, I'm glad to have you on here tonight. But Angie, we're gonna get back to you. Just tell us about your podcast show. She Does Sports, and what was your motivation in starting up your own Toronto-based sports show?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, it's been tough. Trying to get as many views and on all the clout and everything that I can. But I've always loved Toronto sports, and I just thought, what better time than the present to try something new? Everyone else is doing it. Everyone else is a TikTok influencer or a superstar on Instagram. So what the heck? Why not? Right? Find something I love. I think I'm so lucky to live in a city like Toronto where we do have so many sports teams, but now, especially with the rise of women's sports specifically, I think that's something that definitely needs to be more talked about. As a woman myself, I would watch these sports and wonder the same thing. Like, well, how come there's no girls on the court? How come there's no even girl refs? Like, what is this? Right. So, if I can just help kind of spread the word and just kind of, yeah, be a face and be a familiar voice for people, that would be fantastic. But I mean, yeah, we don't, I don't know where this goes. I hope Chris, it can go, far and make this a full-time job, which I would love to also do. But for now, I'm just trying to, do my thing and yeah, be on any shows possible, connect with anyone who's as interested in the industry as I am. And yeah, like I said, kind of go from there. So if I could get a sponsor, that'd be great too.
And my advice for anybody that's starting out doing live streaming,
That's what I was
podcasting,
just gonna ask you.
or get into radio, don't worry about the numbers right away. Just worry about having good shows. When I started this 7 years ago, I was only on IG Live. It was called Chris's Corner. I sucked. Everything was scripted. I couldn't get guests on. But Pat Gregor, who I met, who's on TSN, he's a lacrosse guy. I
Yep.
met him on a bus trip and we befriended each other. He kept watching me every night. He said, Chris, keep doing what you're doing, but gave me some feedback, some constructive criticism,
Yeah.
and it really helped me. And then 4 months later, after doing solo shows, I got my first guest, an actress ventriloquist from Los Angeles. And now I've done 850 shows, 1,600 guests. But just don't worry about the numbers right away.
Yeah.
Worry about doing good shows, either solo
Yeah.
shows or
Yeah.
getting guests, and just
Yeah.
be consistent. And most importantly, you know this too, be yourself. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. And
Yeah.
mistakes do happen. I make them still 8 years later. People that have been in the industry, like Matthew Shinetti, who's a friend of mine,
Yeah.
he's made mistakes too. The only way you get better as a professional in any career is to learn from your mistakes too. So don't be hard on yourself as well. But just talking to you, I can tell you're a natural,
Thank
honestly.
you. I appreciate it. It could be my background in PR, maybe, I don't know, all my media relations training, but I do appreciate that. I mean, I've done quite a bit of shows as well. I do some shows on the Fired Up Network or with the Fired Up Network as well. We've had, superstars on there like Randy Cross.
Yeah.
Randy Cross played on the San Francisco 49ers for, quite some time. So we've had a few really good interviews. And yeah, like I'm always open to hopping on. So if you ever need, anyone else to chime in on things with you, I'm more than happy to do that. Or yeah, even to attend any events. Like I said, I'd really love to focus on the women's sports side of
Yes.
things as
Yes.
well. Again, I'm just so privileged. I'm so lucky to live in the city of Toronto, where we just always have
Yeah.
so much going on. Like even our major leagues, our minor leagues, now the women's sports. My daughter's 6, and we've started getting her into sports as well. Like all kinds of even free programs, like Halton Region. There's a program called She Can, and so my daughter just started a baseball program. It's completely free. It's actually sponsored by the Jays Care Foundation,
Yep.
which is amazing. And there's so many more opportunities out there. I think you just got to look for them. And if I'm, here and available to help and just share and spread the word to people and get the word out there, I think that would be beneficial for all of us.
And a fun fact about me, my first baseball Hall of Famer interview was a member of Team Canada for many years, Kate Soda.
Okay.
I had her on my show. She gave me over an hour of her time. She was at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. I try to make this show very diverse. I love sports, Angie, but it's very diverse with guests,
Mhm.
topics, people from all backgrounds, and I do
Yeah.
try to get a lot of females on too, and try to promote the female sports. Also, I wanted to ask you about the Toronto Women's Hockey League.
Yes.
Have you been able to go to any Scepters games at Coca-Cola Coliseum?
Unfortunately, no, but I would love to. My girlfriend did end up buying some seasons tickets, but believe it or not, she ended up selling them for like quite a decent amount of money. So she's like, I know you really want to go, and I really want to go too, but she's like, I can't turn down the money. It's like going to double my profit here. So she's still got the seasons tickets. So
Yep.
hopefully, we will be able to go. Like I said, I'm interested to see kind of what's going to happen there as well. I think we've just re-signed actually recently some of those key pieces of our defense. So I'm so curious to see what's going to happen. We've got our goaltender Grace Campbell. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with the season this year for sure.
Women's sports has really improved even in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
and it's come a long ways. And I'm hoping to get to a game in Toronto next year, and hopefully a Temple game too. And
Yes.
also, I want to ask you this too, with media passes too. Like I said, when I started this 7 years ago, I was a nobody in this industry, and I reached out to the Argos and a number of other pro sports teams, and a lot of my skills and training came from those teams, especially the Argos. And I tell people, don't be afraid to reach out. Tell them your story, what you're doing, and
Mhm.
what your goals are, and
Mhm.
reach out. And sometimes you get told no. I've been told by the NFL a number of times, and now I have NFL media credentials. And
Mhm.
it's don't give up.
Yeah.
Mindset, and believe in yourself, and block out the noise. Not that
Yeah.
you aren't aware of this, but I just try to pay it forward to everybody.
I love it. I love it. Well, again, thank you for having me because I think, even just this little segment alone, first of many, I'm going to say, Chris, first of many. But hopefully, it'll just help kind of push me further into that direction to just, keep going. And again, this is a bit of a side hustle for now, but if it could turn into a full-time
Yep.
thing, then so let the powers be. I'm going to send it out to the universe now.
The one thing I would tell new people is don't worry about quantity. quality over quantity, because there's been some times where I was doing 6 shows, 7 shows a week, and I was starting to get burned out, and I don't want to
Yeah.
ever have a show where my guests don't feel 100%. And if I didn't want to do the show with you tonight, Angie, I would have let you know, but I was ready to do it. But
Love
you
it.
also want to have balance, a
Yeah.
work-life balance too, because you don't want to get burned out or lose that passion. And I can tell how passionate you are about sports and what you're doing just from talking to you on here.
For sure. Now, can we talk a little bit about burnout? What is happening with the Toronto Blue Jays?
Well, they won today 3-1. They played
They
good
did.
baseball.
Is
They
that
played
enough
good.
though? Is that enough? I think it's at the point in the season, it's funny because they started off, they were doing pretty good, not as good as last year. They're doing pretty good, but then everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's such a long season. There's lots of games. Don't worry." No, 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 no. Now we're in worry mode. Now we're in a point where there's not that many more games. I think
59 left.
there you go. There you go. So, and I don't even think they can make the wild card, right?
I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to let you and the audience know the Blue Jays right now are 47-56. I think they've played 103 games.
Yeah.
There's 59 games left. I think for them to get a wild card, they can forget the division. They're not getting the division.
Yeah.
59 games left. I think they're going to have to go 40-19. 40
Yeah.
wins will give them 87. I think it's going to take the Blue Jays 86, 87 wins to get a wild card, in my
Don't forget
opinion.
too, the trade deadline is coming up August 3rd.
August 3rd. Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to have to see what happens there. We've got some untouchables. We've got Vladdy Guerrero Jr., Dylan Cease, Okamoto. But I mean, at the same time, we've got we've got Kevin Guzman. We've got some guys who are up for trade. So I don't know if that'll be a good thing or if that'll be a bad thing. I don't know. Like, look what happened when Bo left, when the team kind of just changed a little too much. And here we are.
I know a lot of the fan base don't like Bo for what he did leave. I was able to interview him a couple times last year when he was down in Buffalo rehab. I got to speak
Yeah.
to his dad and himself. Bo
Mhm.
was very humble and a
Yeah.
very humble guy, very quiet. To be honest with you, and people laugh at me for saying this, Vlad Guerrero Jr. has always played with Bo in professional baseball,
Yeah.
and I really feel like that connection really has made an effective Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And Jimenez or Andres, he's probably a little better defensively than Bo at short, but you can't replace Bo Bichette and expect to be a better team. And I really feel that Bo Bichette, I think he probably would have been better off staying in Toronto than going to the Mets in hindsight, because and then Vlad Jr. too. I'm not making excuses for him, but
Yeah.
I do think he misses his friend Bo and
Yeah.
and I think certain guys should be at certain teams, and
Yeah.
I think Bo Bichette should have, but unfortunately, it's a business, and we'll see what happens. I don't think Bo Bichette's going to finish his 3-year contract up with the Mets, so we'll see. But as for the Blue Jays, Gosman is having an awful year, so I don't know how much trade value.
Yeah.
Shane Beaver has pitched well the last 2 starts, so
Yeah.
that's a possibility. Kirk has not had a good year, even coming back from injury.
The
Uh,
injuries too
Yep,
this year.
yep,
Yeah, that was a
yep,
big, big, big hit for us, I think.
yep.
And even when those guys came back, like you said, they just didn't seem to be at their best or at the level they were at last year. I mean, listen, I love Bo at the end of the day. He chased the money. Anybody would. You would, I would, we would all do that. So I
Comes
mean,
down to it.
you can't hate the guy, right? And,
No,
maybe the
no.
cold was a bit much for him. Maybe he wanted to change. So that's what a lot of the celebrities always say, or all the sports athletes, at least the ones that I've come across anyway. That's their biggest thing is, oh, we can't handle the winters, and all the things, and then the extra taxes and all those things too. But can't hate the guy. I love him. And I think he does have a clause in his contract. So he doesn't have to
Yes.
stay the whole 3 years, I read as well.
Yeah. And doing some media work for the Buffalo Bisons, I was able to interview a lot of these guys. And whether you're a Blue Jays fan or not, they're all good guys. I have not
Mhm.
met one guy on the Blue Jays organization that is a complete jerk.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bisons organization, the Jays minor league systems, they do a really good job getting these guys up. Just like Dave Schneider. I know he's struggled this year, but
Yeah.
if you talk to him, he's one of the down to earth good guys. He's a hard worker. And
Mhm.
and Ernie Clement too. He was down in Buffalo, I'm like, good guy, but he's not going to make the Blue Jays or be getting the Major League Baseball. He worked his tail off. So
He's our
I
best
just
player right
yeah,
now.
Yes, yes. So they're really good guys, but you know what? Mike Pinball Clements, I know he's with the Argos, but he told
Yeah.
me this last year when the Argos won the Grey Cup. He goes,
Another
Chris,
super, super nice guy, by the way. Like,
yes,
Pinball Clemens is probably the most one of, at least, that I've met,
yeah,
one of the most genuine,
yeah.
nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah. And one thing he told me, he goes, Chris, winning the Grey Cup was great, but what you did last year doesn't guarantee future success.
Yeah.
And I think the Blue Jays management and the media finally, hey, we almost won the World Series last year. We're going to win it this year. Just like I'm a Tigers fan. Everybody thought the Tigers, because they had a good year last year and they almost got to the ALCS to go against your Jays. Oh, the
Mhm.
Tigers are going to win the Central. They're going to be one of the top 3 teams in the American League with the Blue Jays. But every year in sports is different. And that's why we love sports, because it's unpredictable. And unfortunately,
Every
yes,
day is different.
yes,
You've got
different.
weather issues, especially with a sport like baseball where
Yeah,
most of those games are played
yeah.
outside and back to back. And, so yeah, and I think too, like you hit on the Toronto media. We're not going to go there, but the Toronto media is tough. It's a tough, tough city for sure.
But it's not as tough as New York or LA or
True,
Chicago. So,
true.
but as for Vlad Guerrero Jr., I know he misses Bo Bichette, but you're paying this guy $500 million. He's lucky that he's not in New York or LA,
Yeah,
Chicago right now.
yeah,
They have to get more production out of him. Defensively, he's fine. He's been great all year
yeah,
defensively,
yeah,
but you got to get more production out of him. Okamoto, good pickup. I'd like to see him hit higher than 229, but
yeah.
he's hit 22 home runs, 62 RBIs. I want to get your thoughts, Angie, as a female Blue Jay fan and being in the city of Toronto. What's your overall assessment of this team, and do you think they should be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline, or just stay
Ugh.
neutral?
It's so hard to say because I mean, nobody has a crystal ball. Obviously, like you said, we all want to, see them do as well as they did last year, but they're not. So we have to be realistic. I just think like hopefully they can at least pick up their game a little. And some of those guys can, maybe hit a home run or two for the rest of the season, just something to kind of give them that like confidence back that maybe they've lost or, I don't know what's going on with them, but change is good, I get it, but I think at this point, especially how far we are in the season, and again, like how good our run was last year, we didn't have that many changes, so I don't think I wanna see any more changes right now.
So just keep it status quo for
Yeah,
now.
I'd like to. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously it's not working, but it could also be way worse. Like, if we get other players, there could be a whole different learning curve there. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like to just kind of keep it and hope for the best. Cross
The
my
only
fingers.
problem is Gosman is a free agent and he's
Yes.
37 years old.
Yep.
Varshaw is only 30, but he's a free agent as well. So is it better to trade them now and get something for them, or let them walk and get nothing for them? Like
Yeah,
the Leafs did with Mitch Marner.
that's true. That's true. Or like watch this slump continue to get worse. And then maybe, yeah, yeah, you're right. I don't
And that, I was going to ask you this question too, and I'm sure you'll probably give me the same answer. For me, it's been offensively, they've been horrible. Defensively, they've been not as good as last year, and their pitching has been really bad, other than maybe Dylan Cease
yeah.
and Louis Varland. Cease and Varland have been the only 2 solid, reliable guys on the team. One in the bullpen, one in the starter. What's your thoughts?
I think the same thing. I think, yeah, we just, you know what? It's funny because when the season started, I said our pitching was strong. Our pitching was strong. We were amazing. No, we were untouchable. We were doing so great. And then midway through, I don't know, we just kind of we fell apart. Or the pitching was still strong, but nothing else was clicking. The bats went quiet. Nobody was hitting anything. It's yeah, I don't know if there's a way to like I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to even like demand some of those more like prospects coming up from the minor leagues possibly. I don't know. I'm just thinking like ones that might come up and be a little bit more hungry, a little bit more ready to play in the big leagues and like give it all they got because I feel like and I don't know, I'm not a, baseball player by all means, but I don't know, these guys just seem tired.
I would like to see the young kid Brian Valenzuela get more catching time. I know
I've been
everybody
hearing
likes,
that name quite a bit.
yeah. Yeah, I would like to see him get more time.
Yeah.
Kirk, Kirk, it just to me, they let Heineman go, which was the right move, but I really think they should go with Valenzuela. I think
I
he should get
agree,
a number
and I
quarter.
think that's the only way they're really gonna evaluate their long-term, spot on these teams too, is
Teams.
give them the chance. Like, we're already doing so bad anyway. We can't do any worse, but having these guys come up again, they're eager, they're hungry, they're young, they're ready. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. Look at Ernie. He's like our best player now.
Yes. By the way, the Boston Red Sox, who were horrible, went on a 15-game winning streak, but now they've lost a game. I want to see if the Red Sox now go back into a losing streak. For the Blue Jays, before the trade deadline, which is what, August 3rd, they're going
Yeah,
to have to go on a winning streak, and they're going to need help. There's
yeah,
like 5, 6 teams ahead of them, so the odds are really stacked against them. They're going to have to go at a 40-19 clip
yeah.
to have a chance at a wild card spot. So they're going to have to really turn it on, and it's not easy to do that in a 162 game schedule.
No, for sure. And talking about, trade deadlines and things like that. I mean, Toronto sports teams are not shy to spend the money, but instead of spending, say,
Yep.
like the 30-40 million dollars across multiple veteran players who eventually just, end up getting injured or sitting on the bench, like, why don't they maybe consolidate some of that spending cap or some of those salaries and look at more of those like middle of the order kind of, the ones that are very powerful at bat, and maybe like some of those like top of the rotation starters, just give them a shot.
Well, to me, it starts with pitching, defense, and offense, and either all three of them have been below par, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, I want to get your thoughts too, Angie. Do you feel John Schneider should be fired, or do you think he gets a mulligan and give him another year?
I keep seeing all these like, and I think I even posted it on my TikTok one day this week or last week, and I just did a poll. Most people said yes, he should be fired. I don't think it's just him. It's really not just him. This is all about a team. He had the really good run last year, maybe not such a good run this year. I think give him one more year, give him one more chance. Three strikes, you're out. That's how it goes. So I think, give him one more and just kind of see where it goes from there personally. But I don't know. I don't what do you think?
You know what? I can't disagree with you. I know it's a business, but I would say you got to bring them back for 2027.
I
But
agree.
but you put them on a
Yes.
short leash. If they
Yes.
struggle right in March and April,
Yes.
you might want to pull the plug on them.
Yeah.
I know Don Mattingly is doing well with the Phillies, but the Phillies have cooled off too. And I
Yeah.
don't think the Phillies managers are the issue. It's the players. Unfortunately, you can't fire or trade 25 guys,
Yeah.
but I do feel John Schneider, I do feel he'll be back next year, but I think he'll be on a really short leash, in my opinion. So,
Oh, for sure. For sure. And
yeah.
that's how it should be. So if that's how it is, I completely agree, but I do agree. I think give him one more season and see how it goes. But like you said, yeah, very, very shortly.
And Shapiro and Atkins, who the fan base wanted out for years and years, they seem to have escaped the criticism because they put this team together. So I guess they're going to get a mulligan too. But if this team, let's say it continues for the rest of the year, which I think it will, and they struggle again 2027, I think the fan base will start getting on Shapiro and Atkins again as well.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. Speaking of changes, I think, we definitely need to touch on our Toronto Maple Leafs as well. That team has had a complete change all the way from management pretty much all the way down. So I love that you keep posting all these questions in here. I love this. I don't know if you're asking me that question or if you're asking the fans, but I'll
I
answer
was
it
gonna,
anyway.
I was gonna. You brought it up. See, one thing I've learned about doing this show, and I learned it 7 years ago: listening skills to your guests. So as soon as the guest brings up a topic, and I think we think alike too. So I was gonna ask you this anyways, but are you happy with the Leafs hiring their new GM and head coach Jim Haler? And do you see this team with McKenna and a healthy Austin Matthews being a playoff team in 2027?
Yeah, so it's interesting because at first, when this all came out, I was like pretty much in shock, as I think most of us were. But you know what? Like the Leafs have not been good for years now. So we need a complete shakeup. I think this will be really good. Czechia is known, or Czechia, or you want to pronounce his name, Czechia. He's known for, being a little bit more on the brutal side, let's say, to be nice. But I think it's good. I think we need a complete shakeup. We needed a change. Change is good in this type of scenario. We can't get any worse. So, let's see it. Let's see how it plays out. No pun intended, but I think it'll be good. I actually think it'll be really, really good. I think grabbing our new goalie now, we went pretty big, I would say, in the free agency by landing Bobrovsky on that 3-year deal. And then actually speaking of Philly, shipping off Joseph Wall to Philly in that package for Samuel Urson and Emile Andre. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be really good. I think we've got some depth there on our forwards as well. So I mean, yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, we don't know till we know, right?
The core four have had 11 years together, so I still think one of those four need to go. And
Yeah.
the thing is, Matthews, I don't think you should trade. He's a franchise player. Tavares is getting up there in age, and I
Mm.
don't know how much trade value he's got. Morgan Riley, some of the fan base want out, and Nylander. I would say out of those, I would say Nylander I would move, but I don't think they're going to win with that core four. So I know they've made some changes, but I don't know if it's good enough.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
guess
ready
time
to
will tell.
see it. Yeah, I'm ready to see them. Yeah, they've already changed up quite a bit. So I mean, yeah, if they want to change some more, I mean, let's see what happens. But I think again, they can't get any more worse than they have been year after year after year. So,
And 2027 will mark 60 years since they last won a cup.
well, you
Or
know what?
eh,
It's funny you say that because I'm just like I see all these posts now about, the Jays and this being their 50th year. Like, what a way to go out in your 50th year.
yes,
Like, why couldn't this be last year? Why couldn't we
I'll be
celebrate 49?
one of my friends, Marty York, who used to be with Globe and Mill, he's really harsh on them, probably too harsh for my liking, but
Yeah.
I get on with Marty. Marty said to me in March, he did say this. He said, "This team is not going to make the playoffs. They're going to be under 500." I said, "Marty, I'm not a Jays fan, but I disagree with you. I think they're still going to be an 86, 87 win team. They're going to get a wild card because they lost Bo Bichette." And Marty was dead on. He called it right on. And
Yeah.
I thought this team would be an 86 to
We all
87 win team.
did.
Yeah.
We all
So
did.
and as for the Maple Leafs, I still thought they were going to be a good team last year, even without Mitch Marner, but they didn't have it. They didn't have it goaltending, they didn't have the offense, and they were poor defensively as well. Now, Sergei Boroski, he is getting up there in age, so I don't know if he's going to be good for 3 years, but if they can get one good year out of
That's
him,
what I was gonna say.
they could get back in the playoffs. But
Yeah, yeah, I
I'm
agree.
I'm a Red Wings fan, and they're even more dysfunctional than the Leafs right now, which I never thought I would say. But the Red Wings are the most dysfunctional team right now in the NHL, and my hockey hero got fired, Steve Eiserman. It just never worked.
Yeah,
Sometimes your heroes come home, it
yeah,
doesn't work. Just
yeah,
like Brendan Shanahan, a
yeah,
Memo Toronto boy, came back to Toronto. It just doesn't always work going home.
yeah, yeah. It's so true. It's so true. Especially as they played and they aged, like you said, they're just not the same anymore. They've gotten beat up a few times, maybe a few
Absolutely.
concussions.
So yeah, I do think the Leafs should be better next year, but I don't know how good. So we'll wait and see. Maybe closer to the fall. Now, if you got a few more minutes, I want to ask you
Yes.
about your Toronto Raptors
Oh,
and what's going on with Kawhi Leonard.
okay.
Would you bring back a guy that wanted out of Toronto? It was like he broke up. It's like dating somebody, and then the next night they dump you, they ghost you,
It's
and then bring
worse.
back.
It's worse. It's worse. It's like you had a house, you had all the things with him, and then he just up and left and said he was never coming back and he never wanted to be here. So I love that you asked me this question because I have a love-hate relationship with Kawhi Leonard. I don't have it right on me right now, but I have a Raptors hat from back in the day from that 2019 run with his, signature on it. And I did a show. This is like maybe even going back like almost a year ago now. And we joked about it. We said, what if Kawhi Leonard ever came back to Toronto? And I'm like, nope, will never happen. He didn't want to be here. Like literally restaurants offered him free food. He had hotel. Like he would have been like the Toronto ambassador. Like he would have been the sports figure of like what Drake is to Toronto, right? So if he would have stayed, and he didn't. He even said then all these interviews came out after that he never really wanted to be here. He said he was never going to stay here. But I mean, he's here now. He's coming back. He did have his son here, which I also recently learned. So, I don't know if that's a big part of it. If maybe he wants his son to grow up in Canada versus the U.S. for whatever reason, I don't know. But I don't know. Like, he went back home. He wanted to go home. He did the whole thing, but did he? Because he was injured most of the time. He really didn't do anything. It's like now he's coming back, and I don't know. Like, I don't know. I still have a love-hate relationship with this because I still don't know. Like, is he going to come back and be the Kawhi Leonard of 2019? Because if that's the case, then great, awesome, love to have you. Let's win another championship in my lifetime. Would be nice, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to come back with that 2019 energy. I mean, that's what 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, like 6 years. He's 6 years older, so.
And it's not the same team. It's not got Nick
Yeah.
Nurse, doesn't have Kyle Lowry, doesn't have Siakam.
Well, we had Kyle Lowry for one day.
Oh, yes, yes, one
Which
day.
also I don't get. Why didn't he just play? Like, play half a season, play a game at least, put your foot on the court, like do something, even just for you. However, I give him huge credit because him and his wife did actually invest in the Toronto Tempo women's team. So
yes,
shout out to Kyle Lowry. Toronto loves you. We love you. And, happy to see you retire as a Raptor.
And the Raptors, to me, I thought overachieved last year. I thought they did better than they were supposed
to.
They did. But with Leonard, it depends on his attitude. We don't know what's going on with this investigation. So there's still a chance that the trade might get notified. Wouldn't that be ironic that the guy wants to come back to Toronto after he ditched them 7 years ago, and then the trade gets canceled? Wouldn't that be ironic?
Oh, man. Man. I just don't get, like, he wanted to go home. All of a sudden, now you want to come here? Like, what happened at home? Thought you wanted to go home and stay home and retire at home. Now all of a sudden you want to come back when you didn't want to be here? Really?
Like I said, sometimes going home is not always the answer.
No, it's not.
You see it too many times. But hey, as we wrap this show up, I wanted to ask you this. What are 3 words to describe yourself, Angie, and your sports show, She Does Sports?
Ooh,
3 words.
3 words. Okay, like that's actually really hard. I think everyone calls me like a ray of sunshine, a ray of light. They said you have so much energy and good positive vibes. So I think, I do like to run my show just like you do, like in a very casual conversational setting, but I like to be honest. I like to give my honest opinion and my honest feedback. I like to be transparent about, what I'm thinking or feeling at that time. I love Toronto. There's no doubt about that. I love this city. I love all the things it has to offer. I think we're, again, just really lucky to have so many sports teams here as well. We just hosted FIFA, which is amazing. Probably won't ever happen again here in Toronto in my lifetime. But 3 words only. I am a chatterbox, so it's very hard to only come up with 3 words. But let me see. I don't know. I can't think of just 3 words.
Positive, perky, and energetic.
Yeah. Those are good 3 words. I'll take them for sure. And follow me. There's 2 words.
Put you on the spot here. What are some of your most memorable sports memories from the Toronto teams? Obviously, you mentioned the 2019 Raptors, but what other sports memories in Toronto that you really enjoyed?
Oh, for sure. So I used to be a TFC season ticket holder. So I was lucky enough to be a season ticket holder way back when they won the MLS Cup. So that was super exciting. And then also when we had the MLS Cup here in Toronto, this was going like way back when I was still in college at the time. I actually volunteered and I got to be a photo marshal. So that was super exciting. That was probably my first experience of ever, being actually like feet on the ground, feet on the field. I had to make sure the photographers all stayed in line because they definitely don't. They like to, get those shots and get those images and do whatever they need to do that. So, here I am, my little like 18-year-old self telling them to like, stay back, stay behind the line, But I've had a lot of really good experiences here in Toronto. Like I said, I've gone to a lot of Argos games. Tons of TFC games being a season ticket holder. I love the atmosphere. I love the environment. I mean, a Jays game when the dome is open with the CN Tower, glistening at nighttime. There's literally nothing better. Back in that 2019 run too, we had the Jays playing. We had the Raptors on their really good run as well. Yeah, there's just I have a lot of good memories here. And I think even just watching like some of the minor leagues too, like, seeing the Marlies play, seeing like even our Raptors 905 here in Mississauga
Oh yeah.
play. I think our minor league teams are honestly just as good as our, top tier teams as well. Like our Raptors 905 crushed it last year. They pretty much had a perfect record.
I was going to ask you, it's the 50th year of the CN Tower. The last time I was at the CN Tower was October 1978
So it's
when I was in
time.
1978. I think I was in grade 1 or grade 2.
Yeah.
I was living in Oakville at the time, but it was such a big deal. What I remember about the CN Tower the most, we were on the observation deck. I was
Yep.
nearly left behind.
Yep.
That's why I remember it so much, but I should go back up there again. It's been a while.
Yeah,
It's
no,
been a while.
absolutely. It's same for me. I mean, I live in the city, but I live outside of Toronto. I don't go downtown probably as nearly as much as I probably should. But I mean, from what I've heard, like the CN Tower has had a massive, massive, massive makeover recently. There's all kinds of things to do up there. They've still got the restaurant that, spins all the way around. So that's something cool to check out. I haven't been there in quite some time either. Actually, speaking of the lower observation deck, I think they've completely revitalized that as well. So I'd be very curious to see what that looks like. Yeah, it's again, I'm so privileged and blessed to live in such a beautiful city, and that CN Tower is just something to be seen. Like even just standing in front of it at nighttime with the lights on it, or the fact that they change the color based on what's going on in the city. I think that's awesome. But I haven't been in a while either. Maybe it's time, Chris. We got to get up there.
Have you tried thinking about doing the edge walk like
No, I
Kevin
won't do
Ballard?
that. I will not do
Kevin,
that.
couple of the Blue Jays did that for Canada today. Kevin Ballard,
I saw
Marco
that.
Estrada, and there was another guy. I don't think Pilar was comfortable doing it.
No, no. I am so afraid of heights now as I get older, and it's only getting worse. So that is something I will not do. Even walking on the glass floor. When I went as a kid, I remember with my dad. My dad took me and my sister, and I was only walking on like the metal beams that like connect the glass like on the outside. My sister's like jumping on the thing, and no, no, not me. I am totally afraid of heights now. I am not afraid to admit that, and it's only getting worse.
Same here, and especially every year I get smaller in size. I
Right?
used to be
Maybe that's it.
five.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah. So how tall are you, anyways?
I am 5'2.5". That half
Okay.
makes a difference.
Okay. You'll be looking down at me the next time you see me.
No way.
I'm over 50. So, but you know what? Age is just a number. Age
It
is
is.
just a
It is.
number.
It is. You're only as old as you feel.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up the show, this is a segment I do for my guests at the end of the show. It's called Ask the Host CDP a Question. And CDP are my initials, by the way.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Do you have a question to put me on the hot seat?
I do actually, only because we have a great sponsor, Barry Cullen. So, what is your favorite car?
I love what I have now. I have a Chevy Trailblazer SUV, and
Okay.
I love it. It's an SUV, but it's a smaller one. It's good on
Yeah.
gas, and most importantly, it's comfortable. It's good on
Yes.
gas. It's comfortable, and I've always been a GM guy, so it's a good partnership between me and Barry Cullen Chevrolet. I've been a customer of theirs for 26 years, and they're supportive of my show, so it's really a good relationship. And I would tell this to anyone who's a podcaster or a radio: if you're going to get someone to advertise on your show, try out their product, make sure it's a good fit for them and it's a good fit for you. You don't want some advertiser on your show where you don't believe in their product, and I
Yeah.
do believe in the GM product,
Yeah.
so it's a really good fit, and they believe in my product too, as long as they stay out of political shows, which I do. I
Yes.
don't want anything
We
to do with
all should.
political shows. Yes, absolutely. And I tell people, if you get into political shows, it's going to be tough for you to get sponsors, because a lot of businesses want to protect their brand and marketing, just like I do too. I'm very careful about my guests. I want to make sure I get the appropriate guests for my show,
Right.
and to represent their business and represent my business at the same time.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I agree. Those new CTSs, ooh, those Cadillac CTSs, I saw them at the auto show and
Yeah.
they are so nice. Maybe, I'll have to get my behind into one of those soon. I do have one more question for you though. If you could be the
Okay.
GM of any team, any sport, any city, what would it be?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Really?
I'm an Eagles fan. Yeah,
Okay.
they have a great GM and president, Howie Roseman, but
Yeah.
I would say the Philadelphia Eagles or the Detroit Red Wings. But
Okay.
I'll go with the Eagles.
I'm
By the
going
way,
to Detroit actually in
yeah,
September.
yes,
So we'll see what's going on. Maybe I'll catch a game if there's anything going on in
yeah.
September.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to, for my own personal reasons, I had to. I'm taking a little time out from there, so I'm doing a lot of my work for the states remote. But I do have family and cousins down in Michigan. They're down in Taylor, Michigan, and they're the reason I became a Tigers, Pistons, and Red Wings fan.
Love it.
Never a Lions fan and Michigan fan. But yeah, there's a lot of good people down there, and yeah, I became a Detroit fan because of my cousins. So yeah, and
Love
Detroit's
it.
a great sports town.
Love
Great
it.
sports town.
Love it.
Are you going there for like a sporting event for a baseball
No, I'm
game or
going there for I work in automotive, so
okay.
I'm going for
Work,
an automotive
work,
conference, but
work.
yeah, it should be a good time. We always try to see what else is going on while we're there and capitalize on that. I always try to tie in my sports. What goes better with cars and automotive than
Yeah.
sports? I mean, they're
Yes. And they do have a lot of Detroit, like when I was there for the NFL draft 2 years ago,
yeah.
they've cleaned up the city. It's no longer a rust bucket city.
I
It's
keep hearing
really
that.
yes, it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot better. There's a lot more bars, a lot more things to do down there, and they
Yeah.
are very passionate about their sports. So if you go down there, just talk sports, food, or beer, stay out of the political stuff, you'll be
Yep.
fine.
Yeah, love it.
So,
I
but
think
yeah.
everyone should stay out of political stuff right now, if I have to say.
100%, 100% agree with you. And Angie, finally, where can our audience follow you on your social media platforms? Any plan for a website, and also if you like to promote your YouTube channel and your next show, and the best way of contacting you?
Yeah, for sure. So you can find me at She Does Sports, She DUZ Sports, SPORTS on all channels, including YouTube as well. And if you do want to contact me outside of those socials, you can reach me at She Does Sports, She DUZ Sports at gmail.com. My shows are pretty sporadic. I'm like you, trying to, enjoy the summer as much as I can because it is pretty short. But I do have some shows coming up down the pipeline. We're going to talk kind of World Cup recap. I'm going to hopefully try to speak with anyone who was actually there so that I can get their opinions and their thoughts on how everything was. And then just looking ahead to the CFL season, which recently kicked off. I'm hoping the Argos can do better this year. The Jays, I don't know what to say more about the Jays. The Raptors, let's see them crush it this year with Kawhi or without Kawhi. I mean, that's another questionable. But yeah, you can find me at She Does Sports on all social channels. And Chris, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, you have an open invite to come back on my show again in the future.
Yes, I
And
made it. I made the cut.
yes. Well, hey, like you said, you're just a natural on camera, and hopefully, if you get out to an Argos game, please let me know because I would like to meet you before or after
Yeah,
the game. And I do have an Argos podcast I do for the team, the Argo Bounce podcast show once a week. It's
love it.
with a younger guy named Nick. He's half my age, so it's the younger generation, the older generation podcast show, and I get a lot of player interviews as well. So
Love
yeah.
it. Love
And
it.
if you ever need assistance getting some guests, or I can help out with a guest, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd like to pay it forward to other people as well.
Oh, you're such a gem, Chris. And you know what? If only there were more people like you in this world and specifically this industry. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. The only thing I need to work on is my work-life balance because sometimes I take on too much,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure every time I do this show, I give it 100% to my guests and to my audience. And I just love what I'm doing, and keep doing what you're doing, Angie. Be
Thank you.
consistent, be yourself. The numbers will come at some point. It just takes time, and just have fun with it, but enjoy it, and just keep working and improving and learning too.
Love it. Love it. We're always improving and learning, right? And like you said, we make
Yep.
mistakes, but that means we're real. We're not AI.
Absolutely.
Actually,
So
AI does make mistakes, probably more than we do.
absolutely. And I just want to say thank you so much. Give me a little bit of time tonight because I got to go for a walk. I need
Yes,
to get
please
I got to
do.
get off. I've been sitting down all day, so I need to go for a 20,
Yes.
25-minute walk.
Yes.
Give me a little time tonight. I will get you the video. I will
Alright.
have the links to the audio, and I will do some reels and clips as well. But I would definitely love to have you back on again and maybe talk some soccer or even
Yes.
Argos. And hopefully let me know if you're going to be at the Argos home
Yes.
opener on August 6th.
Yeah, because
against
I
Penrith.
didn't even get to talk about that quickly. We had to move our home opener. We actually played in Hamilton, our season opener because of the World
Yep.
Cup. We couldn't play
Yep.
at BMO Field.
Yeah. So yeah, the Argos have a game Saturday at BC, and then they got a bye week, and then they'll be at a Guelph since August 4th. By the way, they've been in Guelph since May, so I've been able to go to a ton of practices,
Love it.
training camps. So I've taken advantage of getting all the player interviews, and
Well,
a
maybe
lot
I'll
of these
meet
guys.
you. I'll meet you
Pardon me?
there one day. I love the Guelph Costco, so I'm always out there.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. They'll be here to August 4th. So next week they're on a bye week, but the week after they'll be
Yeah.
here for one more week before their home opener on the 6th. Please let me know, and if you want to come down here, we'll
Yeah.
get you into their
Let's do
practice
that. We can do some
yeah.
lives and some fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Love it.
Please. It's at Alumni Stadium. It's easy to get to, and it's a
Perfect.
great facility in that, and the players are really great to talk to as well.
Yeah, love it. Love
So,
it. I'm excited. Book it in the
all
calendar.
right. Well, I'm going to let you go, Angie, but we'll
Thanks.
definitely keep in touch on social
Yes.
media.
Yep.
And by the way, I'm not a Phillies fan, but I like the hat. So I've got
Okay.
I got 110 hats.
I have 110 hats too. I was just telling you before we hopped on. I'm like, I don't know which
Wow.
hat to wear, but I went with the Argos hat. Good enough, right?
Hey, and yeah, Pinball Clements is a great guy too. So he's usually at the practice. So if you are able to come up here,
Yeah.
we'll definitely have you come up here. So
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, Chris, go get your walk in.
I will. And Angie, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Take care. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Anyways, guys, that wraps up my double header, 2 episodes today. First with Natasha Menendez, our radio host in British Columbia, and Angie Does, who's the host of She Does Sports, Toronto podcaster and media personality as well. So thank you to Angie Does, and thank you to Natasha Mendez for coming on our show tonight as well. And as we wrap up the show, guys, I'm going to play a little interview I did with Emily Thompson from the Hamilton Cardinals. And I was there doing media work for the Hamilton Cardinals Sunday. And this is Emily Thompson. She's a former cheerleader with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And now she's the in-game host for the Hamilton Cardinals of the CBL at Bernie Arbor Stadium. Here's the interview with Emily Thompson, courtesy of my YouTube channel, Chris Pame, Live with CDP Talk Show. Subscribe, like, and share. Chris Pame here with CDP Media Production. I'm here live today at Bernie Arbor Stadium here in Hamilton for my first ever Cardinals game here in Hamilton. They're taking on the 18-9 London Majors this afternoon, 4:05 first pitch. And I have in-game host Emily with us. Emily, just thoughts on today's game against the London Majors?
I'm really excited for today's game. Our last 2 matchups, Cardinals won, which is a really big deal. I feel like the team has really come together. They're vibing really well, and it's been awesome to watch them win at home. They've been really on fire, and I'm excited for today.
What are your thoughts on today's promo?
Today's promo with the farm, oh my goodness, it's so cool. I think what's really wonderful about our games here is we always have such fun themes. And today you're going through the concourse and you're getting to play with farm animals, goats, chickens. Like, that's so awesome. And I think it really stands out. We really want to be here with the community. And of course, we love baseball. We're here to cheer on the Cards, but also to have fun with our families.
And they even have drums theater today too.
Yes, and what's really great is there's also a lot of people that we do community work with, the mental health associations here as well. We have Still City. There's always a lot going on here, which I think is really great.
How much has the Cardinals meant to the city of Hamilton over the years in the IDL and now CDL?
The Cardinals have so much history, which I think it's really cool. We do a lot to honor the history and the past teams and the alumni. So it's such an honor to be able to be a part of this team and to keep growing and to make a staple in Hamilton. Eric, the owner, and Anna, they've done such a great job with marketing and, you know, making it inclusive for all families. So it's been really fun, and I'm excited to see how we continue to grow.
How long have you been with the Cardinals organization?
This will be my 4th season, actually, which I remember my first game here. It's crazy how much it flies by, but yes, my 4th season, and I'm very honored for that.
Can you tell my audience a little bit about your role?
Yeah, so my role, I am the in-game host, so you'll always see me around. I'm here to hype up the crowd, cheer on the team, a lot of in-game activation, so it's really fun getting to meet the fans. We'll be doing stuff in between the innings, on the field. We have lots of games, and of course, some dancing. That is my background. But yeah, we do a lot here. It's never boring over here.
What's your most memorable Cardinals game so far?
Oh my goodness, the most memorable. That's very hard because I feel like every game is so memorable. I'm so lucky to work with the people that I do and to watch how awesome our team is. We truly feel like a big family. But I will say, just this season alone has been really impactful. It's been really great seeing the guys come together and even our crew and staff. Everyone just, I think we all finally feel good and confident and ready to execute how we need. So I will say this season has been very special, and I'm happy for everyone that has been along for the ride.
Two last questions for you, Emily. Who are some Cardinals to look out for to watch for today's game against London? And what's a fun fact about yourself or the Cardinals?
So I would say rookie Evan McGill has been on fire. He was even at our All-Star game. He did some of the skills competition. He's been incredible. So it's really fun to see a rookie kind of have their moment like that. A fun fact about me, I don't know if it's a fun fact, but you may know me from the Ticats Dance and Cheer. I was also there for 4 seasons, and I'm excited to bring the cheer world to baseball.
And final thoughts on the All-Star game that was in Chatham last week?
Oh, the All-Star game was absolutely amazing. Kudos to Chatham. You did a really great job. I had so much fun. I've never been to Chatham before, and just seeing their stadium and just their staff, they were so welcoming, and I know they should be so proud of themselves after we did it last year. It's so much work. I don't think people realize how much effort behind the scenes goes on. So kudos to everybody in Chatham, and thank you for welcoming the Hamilton Cardinals. We had a great time.
And finally, where can our audience follow you on social media and website?
You can follow me on Instagram at Emmy Tomp, and then the Cardinals at the Hamilton Cardinals. And also there is a website for the Hamilton Cardinals where you can get tickets. You can also buy tickets at the door, and then you can also watch live on Cable 14.
Well, Emily, I want to say thank you so much. Hopefully it'll be a great game against London today.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be back for another home game this year as well.
Absolutely. Go Cards, go.
That with Emily Thompson, the in-game host for the Hamilton Cardinals. She is a former Hamilton Tiger Cats cheerleader, but she's been their in-game host at Bernie Arbor Stadium for the last 4 years. I want to say thank you to the owner, Eric, and the Cardinals organization. They had me down there this past Sunday for the Hamilton Cardinals 3-2 win over the London Majors. Really good baseball, the Canadian Baseball League. Please check out the Canadian Baseball League or the Hamilton Cardinals. A lot of their games are on Friday nights and Sundays, and they do a really great job. And I want to say thank you to Eric, the owner of the Cardinals, and to Emily Thompson. And also I did a player interview, Owen Boone, who threw the first no-hitter in the Inter-County Baseball League, now the CBL. First no-hitter since 1977. So please check out my interviews with Emily Thompson and Owen Boone on my YouTube channel as well. So thank you to them, and the Cardinals do a great job on the field and off the field as well. As we wrap up this show, guys, my second show this week, I'm going to take a couple days off. My next live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show by BarryCullin.com to be announced this weekend, and the next Small Talk podcast is confirmed for Tuesday, July 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 on the West Coast, with special guest Jessica Walters. She is a reflexologist in Saskatchewan, and she's going to talk a little bit about reflexology. And hopefully my co-host Marlene Sharp will be able to join us. But if not, the Small Talk podcast will definitely take place Tuesday, July 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 on the West Coast, with special guest Jessica Walters, a reflexologist as well. And please stay tuned to my social media pages for the next live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership here in Guelph. Speaking of the dealership, right now you can get a $25 Esso and Mobile e-gift card with a purchase of an oil change and an eligible vehicle health check. This offer is valid from June 1st, 2026 to August 31st, 2026. Book your appointment today at Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership. Again, they're located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. If you're looking to foster or adopt a cat, check out the New Hope Animal Rescue Group. They're located at 4990 Jones Baseline Road in Guelph, Ontario. Telephone number 519-836-9780, or visit their website, newhopeanimalrescueguelph.ca. And if you're looking to foster or adopt a cat from New Hope, your best bet is to call and book an appointment ahead of time. Again, 519-836-9780 is their phone number, or go to their website for more information at newhopeanimalrescueguelph.ca. A couple of cats that are from New Hope got adopted at Pet Value at 1005 Paisley Road. Wyatt and Rav, they are a bonded pair, so they got adopted, and they are going home tomorrow. So again, if you're looking to adopt a cat, please, or a foster, please consider the New Hope Animal Rescue Group. Again, you can visit their website, newhopeanimalrescueguelph.ca, or call them at phone number 519-836-9780. And as we wrap up the show, guys, again, you can follow Angie does on these social media platforms. You can check out her YouTube channel. She does sports videos. She's also on TikTok. She does sports on TikTok. She's also on Instagram under She Does Sports, and as well as her Facebook page. She Does Sports there as well. Thank you so much to Natasha Mendez and Angie Does for coming on here tonight. And as we wrap up the show, guys, if you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the Cambridge and District Humane Society, located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or visit their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the pets and animals that are up for adoption, their profiles and pictures are on their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. Michelle does a great job in looking after her furry friends and homeless. Michelle does a great job looking after our furry homeless friends and ensuring they get adopted into good homes and good families. And the staff down there do a wonderful job. And at the Cambridge District Humane Society, you can't buy happiness, but you can adopt it. So if you're looking to adopt a cat, a dog, a bird, a rabbit, please consider the Cambridge District Humane Society. They do wonderful work down there as well. And that is about it for tonight's show, guys. It's been a busy week for me. I've done 4 more shows, 2 more today. And I want to say thank you to the audience for watching this show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X. And thank you to my audience listening to this show on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. So that wraps up today's shows. Again, thank you to Natasha and Angie, my guests. And I will be doing the Small Talk podcast again Tuesday, July 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 on the West Coast, with my special guest, Jessica Vonters, a reflexologist out of Saskatchewan. Fingers crossed my co-host, Marlene Sharp, will make it there as well. And the next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment talk show, brought to you by BarryCullen.com, to be announced. I have more great guests coming up next week as well. I am going to take a couple days off. I'm taking Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and you'll see me back here next week for at least 4 or 5 more shows next week as well. And that is about it, guys. I hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy the Major League Baseball action, and we'll see you very soon next week for another edition of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, hosted by Chris Palme and brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph. Have a good night, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Drive safely and enjoy your weekend.